So I was told to cube, so I'm cubing, and I have no idea what I'm doing. First of all, I need to pull up this card preview thing. Seems kind of important. I don't know. I like opposition a lot. Opposition's pretty sweet. Stop your opponent from playing Magic. Wish I knew the composition of this cube. Like, I assume it being Legacy Cube, and going off kind of like previous iterations of that, I assume Battlesphere is probably pretty good. Definitely very good with opposition. But maybe we'll just draft some boring blue-green deck. I don't know. It's Cube. Obviously, all these cards are fine. Opposition and Battlesphere are probably the most busted ones. Maybe Genesis Wave, but I assume you have enough things like this. You don't need to really prioritize them. Opposition's one of a kind, so we're doing that. And Gifts, Delver, Ponder. This also helps me if I have a bunch of creatures, which is kind of what I want to be doing with opposition. Solemn's dope. Let's just draft some creatures, I think. And then if we get cut off from green, bad times. Very bad times. But yeah, I'm in there. Let's do this. Oh, Llanowar Elf. I'm taking it. You can't stop me. Oh, these white cards are so good. I don't really want to be blue-white. I would still... I'm grasping at straws here, maybe, trying to take this Llanowar Elf, but... How good is Parallax Wave these days? Because this card used to be busted. I imagine it's still quite good. Stone's probably a nice one. Alright, GerryT. Sure. Doesn't attack, but it does tap. And accelerates us. Acceleration's great. Yeah, some more decent white cards. Not a ton of like mono red cards floating around. Good blue ones. In case we want to go that route. I do like having a Daze. Daze is nice. It's pretty tough to play around. Basically, in Cube, people are just going to run into this because they're just playing their biggest spell every turn. So, we're still taking GerryT. Tri-Builder's Dees. Man, so many new cards in the Cube since I last cubed. I think that just means I have not cubed in a very long time. Probably sticking with the theme and taking Tri-Builder, although I would much rather have an actual mana creature instead of something that I would have to sacrifice, because I don't want to sack when I have these two things. Also potential to like just take a Spell Pierce or take a Tarn and hope for some sort of green-red, green-blue duel. Not really interested in Cultivate. I assume Part is pretty powerful. But staying on the boring plan. Ooh, Horny Queen Moloku with our two things. Moloku's got to be better. Just unreal good with these two cards. Man, Reflector Mage? Just in every format. Last week it was Modern for us. This week, I mean, I would splash this for sure. I feel like could probably make that happen pretty easily. We're going to Moloku it up. Ooh, Mana War. Actual Misty Rainforest. How bad is our mana going to be if we take this Mana War instead of the Misty? Not really too excited about anything else in this pack besides those two cards. Truth be told, not even sure how good Mana War is. I assume it's quite good. It's no Reflector Mage. But then again, what is? Alright, Kira's Dees. Trigon Predator, I imagine, has some targets. Kira's just gotta be better, though. Just, like, protects all my dinky creatures. And this Seems way better. Regrowth, not even that good unless you're getting back like Ancestral, so not too interested in that. And then, yeah, a bunch of scary cards. Twin, Nicol Bolas. Probably can never beat a Bushwhacker. Starting with like Llanowar Elf, Kira and stuff, I definitely want dual lands. Thassa's probably pretty good. Kira opposition, probably turn that thing on. Help find my sweet cards. I think I'm just going to take the Sage. Delver is definitely not flipping in my deck. Get to like de-draft the Sage away from my two things too, which is pretty nice. Alright, so we passed Splinter Twin already. Don't really want to pass this Kiki Jiki 2. I don't want to make it too easy for him. I don't think I'm going to be splashing red or black. Like, Abrupt Decay is not super exciting, and I don't think I'm going to splash red. So yeah, I'm just going to D up Kiki Jiki. Probably can never beat Linvala in a million years, so I should probably take that one. Yeah, enjoy your white weenie cards. Ooh, can't beat Arc Trail either. Nice. Ooh, Explore. That might be in the deck. Good with Moloku. Then what? What do we want? I'm not even too greedy. I just want, like, you know, another one-drop elf. Maybe something that helps me find opposition monuments. Some sort of card drawer. Not like the Impulse would have been fine. I'm thinking, like, Garrick Primal Hunter. What about, like, Serendip, Afreet, Bloom Tender, Duskwatch Recruiter's got to be good. Probably just going to take that one. Yeah, none of these other cards are very exciting. We're not going deep enough to make Bloom Tender good, I think, although it does basically tap for 2 mana, but Duskwatch is pretty nice. So, gives us a way to find our creatures, not necessarily our enchantment or our artifact, but obviously very good in our deck. See the Unwritten, Emrakul. Wharf Infiltrator is going to make some stuff for our opposition. Factor Fiction is fine. It is kind of like the thing that I was talking about, but I really would like some sort of like permanent-based card drawing, if that makes any sense. Not just like this spell that doesn't really affect the board. I don't think I can do anything with Emrakul, and I don't think I'm going to be able to turn on See the Unwritten, so oh god, Wharf Infiltrator just seems so medium, though. Maybe I should take the Factor Fiction. Just not exciting. Could be the Factory, but I think my mana is going to be pretty bad. Yeah, whatever. Let's do this. Alright. Couple options. Thrun, Eldritch Evolution. Evolution might be good, actually. We have, like, Manowar Rex Sage that if, you know, we actually get some use out of their ETB, then I don't really mind evoing them into Moloku, so it's pretty decent. Baleful Strix would be, like, the best card of all time if I could cast it, which I can't. So at this point, I have enough playables. My deck looks decent. Some sort of, like, blue-green duel shows up. I'm probably not passing anything. I'm not taking anything over that. I'd rather just have the dual land at this point. Ooh, Nissa, Cloudskate, Kiora. Hangerback's probably awesome with opposition and monument. I would just take this pack. Take the entirety of this pack and then just not get any more picks for the rest of this pack. I would do that. I find it hard to say no to Nissa, but I also don't necessarily think I'm going to get to 7 land. I mean, I do have Tribe Elder and Explorer, which certainly help. But I also have, like, Moloku, which is just a non-bow. So I might take Cloudskate. If Kiora were a better blue-green planeswalker somehow, then I would be a little more excited for that. Hangerback is probably pretty close to Cloudskate, but Cloudskate's nice. Harbinger's decent. Kiora's Follower. I don't really have anything for tap abilities. Well, it's basically just another mana dork, which is obviously fine. You know, nothing wrong with that. I'd rather have the creature instead of the Utopia Sprawl. I'm not super worried about Pact of Negation. Disc is probably a card that we can't beat. Gonna need to Sage that, but yeah, we can actually like Evo into the Sage now pretty easily, so that shouldn't be an issue. So yeah, we'll just take the Follower. Port is nice in my Oppo deck, but so is Birthing Pod. So alright, now we have 3 things that go along with creatures. So that's awesome. Now we have a little Pod Eldritch Evolution thing going on. So that's sweet. If we could end up with this Hornet Queen back somehow, that would be tight. That would be tight. Avenger, it's kind of the same thing. Wall of Blossoms is like pretty perfect. It's awkward because we're like missing a 4 and a 6 to actually pod into the Avenger. But I think I do want like a top end card. So if we take this and we end up getting back the Hornet Queen too, that's going to be kind of awkward because maybe I don't want to play both of them, but I might anyway. If I took the Wall of Blossoms, I could probably just like cut Explore, and maybe I'll just do that anyway. But yeah, I think I want Avenger. I could see taking Serum Visions, but I really, I don't know, my mana is going to be not great. Alright, Avenger it up. Well, there's a green duel. So we can like backdoor into an Underground Sea with this thing. Tolerant's not really doing anything for me. A lot of decent red cards too. Yeah, we're just taking the land. Bloom Tender came back. That's fine. Not too upset with that. Alright, there's a See the Unwritten and the Wharf Infiltrator that I almost took the first time. Maybe I should take the See the Unwritten. Now that I have like, you know, some big stuff to actually find. Could be sweet. How hard is it to get Ferocious? Yeah, I don't think I want that Wharf Infiltrator either way. So we'll put the See the Unwritten in the board for now. I'll probably take this Revoker for the board, maybe. Kind of tough to main deck this card when you don't know what's in your opponent's deck. I don't really want to play Tech Edge because my mana situation is sketchy. Ooh, Kiora and Spellskite. Both are good. Not passing a Planeswalker. I don't care how bad you think it is. I don't think I'm playing this Utopia Sprawl. I might, though. It does kind of fix my mana, so that's certainly a consideration. And if we're trying to curve like 1 into 3, then Utopia Sprawl definitely helps there. Kind of concerned with beating a Living Death. And Summoning Trap's a nice sideboard card, too. Alright. Got a little theme deck going on. So we need to fill our holes for a Birthing Pod. And I'm definitely going to need to write down my deck list, because otherwise I'm going to forget what's in it. And oh my god, we have like a Shardless Agent, Wormcoil, Kaiga. We have Colossus, which is a 4-drop, but it's like better to pod into than pod away. This just gets anything, right? So if we do get a 4-drop, we can Evolution into Wormcoil, which just seems sick. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm just taking Wormcoil here. Yup. Okay, so there's our blue-black duel. Also, some more mana dorky stuff. Battlement, Fertile Ground. I think I'm just going to do this so we actually end up with a fixer. Not too interested in Fertile Ground, mostly because it's not a creature. And Craterhoof is like a little too big, I think. Obviously, if we like pod Avenger into Craterhoof, that just is. But pretty sure if we have pod and Avenger, they're probably just dead. So Westvale Abbey is a card I wouldn't mind having in my deck, despite my mana issues. But yeah, we're gonna go with Watery Grave here. Rofellos, Wood Elves, jeez. Yeah, I can't say no to Rofellos. All these confluences. I haven't seen these in like a year. Man, these cards seem sick. Ooh, Stomp Howler. Bayou could matter if I get, like, a blue-black fetch land, but... Oh, having Cloudskate is so nice for the evolution and the birthing pod, too. That's good. So maybe I just don't end up playing this Stomp Howler. I haven't seen, like, a ton of targets. It's been, like, enough decent ones. So do we speculatively take the Bayou, or should we just take Stompy? I can't. I love this card. It's too good. It's too good. Ooh, Shaman. Arbor Elf. Oh, there's the Deceiver to go with that twin. Good thing we took that Kiki Jiki. Yeah, I think I'm just taking Arbor Elf. Shaman's definitely good now that I have some high-end stuff. But Arbor Elf is like kind of the same thing. Okay, Deep Fiend, Green Sun, Shelldock Isle. A lot of options. Not too excited about playing a Vraska, so I'm not really going to mess with that. I think I'm just taking Deep Fiend. I think Deep Fiend is just super sweet, possibly unbeatable. A little Jace B could be a pretty good sideboard card. Stuff like Mindslaver I'm not too worried about, so yeah. Upheaval, good God. That's something to do with a bunch of mana. Okie doke. Shardless Agent. This is basically just gonna hit a mana dork, but I think that's good enough. I mean, this is 2 bodies for 1 card, which is basically what we want with like Monument Pod and Evolution, Opposition, basically everything. The issue is that like this with Pod doesn't really do anything because we don't have a 4-drop, which is kind of sketchy. We gonna have 4-drops chilling out over here? No. Oh well. Alright, do we want the Battlement or the Abbey? I think we might want the Abbey. Get a little greedy. How do we not end up with a 4-drop? What could we have taken besides the Chameleon Colossus? Just gonna D up this Pyroclasm. Massacre Worm kind of beats us, or we could take a Threads for the sideboard potentially. I think I just don't want to fight Massacre Worms. Well, this could be our 4-drop. We can't cast it. But we might just need to have a speculative 4 in there. Yeah, maybe the Avalanche Riders will make the deck. Maybe I should have picked up one of those dual lands at some point. You should basically always do that. Just keep your options open. I failed miserably at that. Okay, so I think I want 17 lands. So that means we have to cut 2 cards. I like all the top end stuff. Probably just cut this Factor Fiction. Could see playing the Sprawl. The Sprawl could let us cast the Riders if we wanted to play this as a 4 for Pod. But it's like kind of awkward because we can't pay the Echo. So, little awkward. And if we're getting greedy, I mean, we could just play the 5 too, right? Maybe the 6? Go all the way up to 8? No? Too much? Yeah, I mean, I could play like Sprawl, Mountain, Tribe Elder, Avalanche Rider, and that might fix my issues somewhat. It is so bad to just not have a 4-drop with Pod. Then I have to actually like resolve a 5, and it seems like so much work. I don't think I'm going to start the Avalanche Rider. I think... yeah, I think I'd rather just have the Abby in my deck and have this pod with a very obvious hole in it. Alright, so we need to cut one more. Let's probably just pick one of the weakest creatures. It could be Tribe Elder. Tribe Elder does kind of fix our mana, which is nice. Let's just cast Opposition, Upheaval, maybe Cloudscape if it comes to that. Kira is the one that I'm looking at where I'm like, kind of tough to cast that one. Maybe Kira is supposed to be a sideboard card too. Alright, gotta cut one. Could just be Cura, I guess. Cura is kind of medium. Does pretty nice things for our deck, though. It's like pretty silly to cut a non-color Planeswalker, even if it's not that great. Pretty sure the Sage is worth playing. At least Sage or Stomp Howler. I feel like Sage is probably a little bit better, but if we move this here... Maybe we want Stomp Howler as just an additional 5. Curve is kind of top-heavy, though. I definitely don't want opening hands with like all these cards in them. Man, M15 lands? Did they used to give us unhinged lands? What's going on here? Alright, so Charlotte's Agent is always hitting a creature. Cloudskate still belongs over here. So yeah, maybe I'll just cut Kira, try and alleviate some of these mana issues. And then... definitely going to have to take a picture of this deck. Because otherwise I'm going to forget what I have as far as evolution and opposition and all that fun stuff. So, deck is pretty decent. This is basically what I set out to do, so I'm not too upset about it.